Hi everyone, it's Chelle from Chelle Crochet. Welcome to my January 2021 podcast. Chelle from Chelle Crochet. Welcome back. January 2021, almost over. So I thought I'd come in here and talk to you about the things that I've been making. So in my previous two videos from this month, I've already talked a little bit about two things that are hanging over, carrying over, if you will, from December into January, and a couple of them are longer, bigger projects. So I am happy to report my sweater is done. So I will pop up a picture here. I will put it on and pop in some video here of me wearing it. Very, very happy with how it turned out. Might not do the collar the same way I did it this time. I also think that I overestimated how much of a armhole I needed to leave. So that was a good note to carry forward. And I'm just really glad it's done. So I will be using the inspiration to carry forward into some vest projects to begin with, and then maybe into some summer short sleeve type shrug sweater combos that I'll want to make throughout this year. Yeah, wearables. I think I can. Also continuing to make progress on my Diamond Granny Take 2 blanket, and I have about 60 squares done of the colors, and then I'm working on adding my Bernat cozy style in the charcoal around them all to do 3 rows of that. One interesting note is I used a 6.5mm hook to make all of the solid colored squares, and I used a 6mm hook to do the 3 rows of granny stitch around the outside. And on the last round of the granny stitch, I stopped doing the chain 1, just so, you know, give that square a little bit more structure and pull it in a bit, just similar to how if you were doing a single crochet round as your last round on a square, it would actually tighten up your square. Taking that chain 1 out does the same thing, at least for me it did. So that is where that is, and I'm not going to be doing any extra on there. I will be slip stitching those squares together. Nope, I lied. I'll be whip stitching those squares together with using the last row of the granny stitch. And yeah, so more on that from month to month. So we have this thing in our family in February called February birthdays because there are 8 family and family close friends who have birthdays in the month of February. So we go from Christmas right into another round. Now I don't crochet for everybody, so it's not like I'm making, you know, 8 huge projects as a result of this, but there's a few people that I crochet for, and some of them watch these videos, so I have to hold off on those. But let's just say I have, we'll call it one larger project already in the works, and I have some gag gifts that I can't show because my brother-in-law is turning 40, so he won't be watching, but if anybody related to him is, don't tell. But I don't even want to show it just in case. Yeah, so that means that I can't unfortunately show you all of the things that are actually made. We'll go on to one of my first makes for this year, which you probably have already seen because Debbie, the Canadian crocheter, already showed. She texted me for some information on some dishcloths that I had made her that it turns out she's using as like little placemats. And I still had some of that yarn left. The yarn had come to me from a box of cotton, is what they were calling it, from Cambridge Fibers way back at the beginning of lockdown in the springtime. I got that in April. And it was a 3-weight kitchen cotton style yarn. Very similar to the Mary Maxim cotton that they used to have. They no longer carry that, at least they don't in Canada. 3-weight and very splitty. So like the splitty kind that when you unravel the yarn itself, you can see the individual threads, and not particularly hard to work with, but just that they pop up as a thread every once in a while. You have to go back and take that out and go back and work it in properly. Also because, you know, for what I was doing, I made the original set I sent Debbie with a smaller hook than I normally use because I didn't want it to be too loosey-goosey knowing that I was using the granny stitch. This all started because I was playing the Granny Square game that Jaded Stitches and her hubby started up last year, and because I knew Debbie would love that whole scrappy idea, I thought it would be a cool housewarming gift because at that point she had bought her new place. Anyway, so she just asked me for the hook size, but I'm like, you know what? I have more of that cotton. It won't be nearly as exciting as the first batch because I don't have as many colors anymore, but I'm happy to use it. So I was able to get 4 more, I think, out of it, and pop up a picture for you here. And yeah, so they're just very solid. I would describe them as solid granny square dishcloths with 2 rows of single crochet around the outside. Pulling out my trusty book here so I can make sure that I'm covering everything I'm supposed to cover and see if I have anything that I can actually show you in person. Yeah, so the last thing I can really talk about, actually there's 2 more things I can talk about this month. One was I just decided to pick out one of my little mini cakes of Bernat Handicrafter Stripey, which I have right beside me here. The ball band at least. And when I found this, which was back in the summertime, they only had 1 in this color. And the funny thing is, when I first found out about this yarn, this is the color that I had seen. And I was like, oh my God, that's so pretty. Let me just get it. I think it's Lavender Meadow, but you know, I can't read without these. Yeah, Lavender Meadow. And I was able to make 6 coasters and a sort of freeform mandala to use on our table in the early spring. I'm kind of thinking of these as more of an Easter theme. So let me show you the coasters first. I do have pictures in case they're easier to see, but the first 2 are Jada's Sunburst pattern, Sunburst coaster pattern. That's actually following Jada's tutorial. And you can just see how differently the yarn just comes out of the cake. And then I did another one Jada did, which was a summer quick fix type thing for people who are part of the channel based on the triangle motif. So let me think. Yeah, this one is actually following the pattern. And this one is sort of following the pattern because my yarn was really pulling on me with the triangles. So I just gave it a little bit of a encouragement in the second one I did. And also I didn't really need them to be the same because I didn't, except for these 2, they're not, the other ones are not the same either. And for this one, I just did like a bit of a modified block stitch just to make a square. And for this one, it's straight old single crochet. So there's plenty of those to go around for when I feel like changing us over to like sort of an Eastery, springy theme in the living room. And then just to use up the cake, because again, I only had the 1, I just did this freeform mandala. The last thing I'm going to talk about is a vest that I made as requested for a friend of mine in navy blue, and I followed Bag O' Day Crochet's pattern that I discussed with my Make 9. And yeah, I'm going to pop up some pictures here. The vest has already walked out the door. And yeah. Hey guys, I will have this vest finished by the time you see this video, so I'll show you what I do have done now. So a girlfriend of mine ordered a navy blue vest, and here it is, patterned by Bag O' Day. She wanted it really long, so it's going to go past her knee, and there's a slight variation on the pattern. In the tutorial, Crystal mentions that you can do extra sets. I did an extra set for the size I needed, plus I already did an extra row, and the extra row I did was the lace row. So there's only 1 lace row in her pattern. I did an extra one. So if you have any questions about that, just let me know. But I'll insert some pictures too so you can actually see the full finished project, because as you see, there are stitch markers and threads hanging everywhere. Navy blue was requested, and so this was the best match of the yarn I had on hand. And yeah, so I think it turned out amazing. I'm really happy to have tried it, and it's giving me ideas for making something for myself as well. The pattern is Bag O' Day's pattern, so that'll be linked below in the description box. So happy to get that off the plate. And then the last thing is another birthday project that I can't really talk about because it has not been gifted yet. And I don't think she'll watch, but she might. She has definitely access to watch. So I was chatting with my girlfriends. They are my best crochet buddies ever in terms of the fact they don't crochet, but they love crochet. So often things walk out the door with them. And one of my girlfriends was saying, I don't know how to wear those twisty shawl things. So I thought, you know what, there's probably a bunch of people who would love to see, and one of my other girlfriends was watching me put the triangle scarf on, and she's like, oh, I didn't know you could do it that way. So I'm thinking of doing some videos on wearing crochet. And I mean, everybody can wear it any way they like, but if it's helpful, then why not, right? So today I'm wearing one of my Just Feel Festive shawls. And for me personally, I should have made these patterns wider, but I'm really grateful that I got to use this yarn, because this is some Ice Yarn Magic Light. And you know how they do their colors. This is just like, you know, teals, purples, browns, or something like that. It doesn't have an actual color name, but I had tried to use this for a different shawl pattern and I wasn't happy, and it was really nice to have the Just Feel Festive to fall back on. But you know, today I'm wearing it a little bit more like a cowl, but there's no reason that it can't come down around the shoulders. So let's give that a try. So now it's a wrap, right? Now it's just down around my shoulders and it's keeping me cozy. So if I had worn this out for the purposes of keeping my neck warm and I was out somewhere, you know, when we can be out somewhere again, then, you know, I can just put it around my shoulders and it would keep me from keeping the chill off at this time of year. So, and I just love how then that way it's showing you the angled pattern more. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that on for you. And now I'm going to grab a triangle shawl and do the same thing. So this triangle shawl I made last year, and it is using my one and only time using a Caron skinny cake. So, you know, if you wanted to be going out, or even if you just like the look of it this way, look how short it's, you know, it's not coming far too deep on me, that kind of thing, all bunched up around the neck. But this is a quite sizable triangle scarf or shawl. And the reason it's the size it is because this is the size of the cake. So here it is. And then if I wanted to have it around my shoulders, there's plenty to go around. And if you want to just pull it in this direction instead, so you still have your back completely covered down your back, you could just tuck it into your coat if you want to be really warm like this, or there's a whole bunch of different ways you can just tuck and tie and have it be pretty, right? Just be creative, really. The ends will go anywhere. And you can always have buttons on them if you like, or not. Speaking of not. Yeah, so just play. That's my advice. For anybody who's looking about how to wear, and this goes for like regular patterned material or solid material, style pashminas, anything like that, right? Just play around until you find it. There's all kinds of little videos on 21 ways to wear a scarf. Take them up on their offer. All right, so one more to show you. This one, I would love to know if you have made these and are aware if there's a particular way you're supposed to wear them. But I did a bunch of asymmetrical patterns last year. The first one I did was a Bob Wilson pattern. I'll pop the name out of it here. I think it was Buy a Scarf. Then I did my boomerang shawl for my Make 9 last year. But in the middle of that, I also did Jennifer from Cinnamon Stitches, her fade shawl. And it's very long and wide because I wanted this for myself. And how I choose to wear these is if you put the peak down your body so that you get the benefit of having your, you know, the part of that would be exposed by your coat covered, and then just come around your neck. I take the short end and I go to here, and I often leave like little loops on the fabric or just go in between the double crochet to fasten it. So it's very kind of cowly and scarfy, and you can do it as many times or as, you know, as tight as you want it. Like if I was really cold, I could go again. But this one is really wide, so I can wear this as a shawl. So if I'm wearing this as a shawl, my plan of attack needs to change. So I'm going to put this point in my back. And then I still have plenty, right? So all down my arm on both sides. And then this long tail, it can either just hang down or it can come around you a little bit if you like. There, right? So we're not going anywhere, right? But if I was wearing this on a regular basis, I would definitely stick a button on the end, just because then I can tuck it anywhere. It'll fasten into any double crochet. And yeah, just gives yourself more options. So I hope you like that I was trying to show you a little bit about how I wear crochet. I'd love to hear how you wear your crochet, or if you have any more questions about it. I'm going to do one on hats because I'm one of those people who felt like they couldn't wear hats for a number of years, and I've gotten over it. And one of the main reasons I've gotten over it is how the hat fits. So we'll talk about that maybe in next month's videos. But yeah, unfortunately January, not too many makes to share because there's a lot of secret makes right now. And what I'm going to do here at the very end of the video is I'm going to pop up some pictures of how I have reorganized my yarn room, just so you guys can get a bit of a sense of where I'm at. Okay? Who doesn't love looking at yarn, right? All right, I hope you guys are all doing well. Thanks for spending this time with me. Have a great day and happy crochet. Here comes the yarn. Bye.